Kobbie Mainoo.
Do you know what's really weird with Kobbie is, apart from the Liverpool game, because obviously he made a mistake that game,
Yeah.
I can't recall many games coming out of it afterwards where we've been talking about him overly positively or maybe overly negatively.
Correct.
He's kind of
Now,
just
is
sort
that
of,
a good thing or is
I
it a
don't know.
bad thing?
I don't know, because we do have these games. Maybe it's because it is so overshadowed by the poor results we've had, and we just don't really focus on it that much. But it's only obviously the Liverpool game because he was at fault for one of the goals. We got dispossessed, but a lot of the games, if you ask me, well, how did Kobbie Mainoo play today? I'll just go, well, a bit like everyone else.
Just a 6.
Not great. Not great. Maybe a bit under. Maybe a bit under that, maybe like a 5, but so did everyone,
I feel like because look, we were spoiled last year with the emergence of him, right? And what he did in like 6 months from October, probably to the summer, with everything he accomplished, with winning his first trophy, scoring in the final, getting in the England team, getting to the final of the Euros, scoring that infamous goal against Wolves, scoring that amazing goal against Liverpool. Like, you started to see little flashes, and we're like, oh my God. Like, Jesus, what have we unearthed here? That's what I said. Yeah, FA Cup final. So it's like, shit, he is serious. And then I think it's a mixture of like the team not playing well, which, to be honest, it wasn't playing well last year as well. It wasn't. He just was a ray of sunshine. I think there's an element of like he is now sort of dragged into the shit as well because of how we play, how rubbish we've been, how easy it is to get through our midfield. So, but then there was a point, and it's not the greatest stat to have, but it's just, it's the truth. I think, the first sort of 4 or 5 games, he had like the most regains. Like he was winning the ball back quite a lot. But I think his card is marked this year. And we always said that the second season of, what if you burst onto the scene is always the hardest. This is his first, we forget, this is Kobbie's first full season from August to May. And, his card is marked. The defenders, or other midfielders, or in other people's team talks now, they're saying, listen, don't give him time and space on the ball. Or they might say, I tell you what, if we can break the press, he's not one to be covering loads of ground and getting back and getting you. So, we'll play on that. So I think he's been a sort of a victim of Man United's deficiencies. Secondly, showing he's human. Like, he's not just going to put the ball in the top corner every time, nutmeg players like he was like. We're not going to see that every single time. And maybe we needed that reality check as fans to say, this is why we have to be careful with our young talent. Really, really careful. Yes, we want to build a team around him. But as you can see, there's still a lot of work to be done with Kobbie. A lot.
Yeah, no, there is a lot of work to be done with him. I mean,
he's got the talent.
He's like 19. And I was just kind of thinking, like, in terms of people that had as big of a breakthrough season, if you will, as he has had. I mean, like, he missed the first sort of third quarter of last season with the injury. By the end of it, he's an instrumental part of Man United's team, and he's playing in the European Championship final for his country. It's insane. To be honest, it's kind of it's a bit similar, not exactly, but a bit like like Cole Palmer, kind of similar. I mean, just does not play in for City, gets this move to Chelsea. By the end of the season, he's scoring in the European Championship final. You're like, oh my God, like that's a lot. That's fast, isn't it? And now on both, and I can already hear the comments. Don't you dare compare Kobbie Mainoo to Cole Palmer. But now for both, in essence, there is this expectation of like, all right then, deliver, go on then. Like, what I mean? And to be fair, someone like Palmer is the way he started the season.
He's doing it.
It's on. This Chelsea team's playing a lot better at the moment, and sometimes it's difficult. That was the impressive thing for both last season. Actually, when it comes to comparison, they were performing in underperforming sides as well, and doing the business. This season, it's more. I want to say it's slightly more difficult for Kobbie because our biggest problem area is our midfield. Tactically, so. If it's not working, it's not working. There is genuinely only so much he can do when it comes to it. So I do sympathise for him to an extent. And look, he's already of the profile that if he's not named in that starting 11, not for injury purposes, but I mean just like whatever. If rotation would be like, what? Kobbie's not playing. That's a lot.
But also, it changes so quickly as well because all of a sudden you could go from coming out of this England camp, having a shit time at Man United because we're shit. Then all of a sudden that little start in England place, because even now it's not nailed on. England got new ideas, new manager. Angel Gomez is inside, Gibbs White's in the side, Cole Palmer's starting to play more centrally now. That puts Jude back. So there's a lot where like you can all of a sudden you go, oh, Kobbie, he'd be in the squad, but he's not an automatic starter. But then if he keeps smashing it for Man United and keeps being on the front foot, and the talent's there, but you want the form to be there, and for it to be replicated across whatever level he plays at, and that to get that out of a player at Man United has been the conundrum for everyone.
I'm Tanya Flex, yeah. When it comes to England, this was the first England squad since like the mid-70s. Not have a Man United player in.
Yeah.
Greece beat us for the first time at Wembley.
You need us, mate. Harry Maguire, Luke Shaw, Rice, 100%, mate.